So marketing is a component that most people really need to dive into. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to make a contagious marketing plan for your business and for yourself. And because Vinney, you're an investor, you have a really good strategy for bringing in and attracting investors.
Good morning. This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Walter.
Welcome back, alchemists. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Walter Morello, and the great Vinney Chopra. Vinney, I know it's raining outside. You've got good lighting today. Where are you at?
I bought, actually, to be truthful, I've had these LED lights for 6 years. Really buys things and then they collect dust like some of us, right? But I've taken 2024 in a new stance to clean up my office completely and use the things that I have bought, and I'm buying even more. You will see some really great things in my studio, some lights and some beautiful colorful lights and all, but these are LED lights that I brought into the yoga room. So it looks a little bit more brighter in my face.
It does look fantastic. So I love that you're using the yoga room. We are officially, month one is complete to the year of yoga. So yoga every day. It's been fantastic. Stretching, getting my mind. And I owe that to you and Doreen and Vinney for getting me focused on it. So this Wealth Principle 13 is to focus on building a contagious culture and in your business and in your marketing. Now, most people right now, I think, are struggling a little bit with their marketing. They're struggling. And I know really successful people are struggling with their culture. They're struggling with, and for somebody who's listening, if you're not sure if you're struggling with culture, do you have a hard time hiring people, right? If your people get hired and then they leave, it could be a retention issue. That's usually a culture issue. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk a lot about drawing in investors into your business, because creating that person who was so happy with it, they go and grab somebody else, I think is really important. So Vinney, you've been in business for now decades. It's been a little while, right? You're nearly 72 years young.
But in real estate, over 40 years, brother, and married happily 44 years this year. 44 years. So that's my success. And 2 successful children, Neil and Monica. I just am reading that book again, Die with Zero. And I would love to share that with our audiences. Please pick up that book. We don't get paid, Walter and I, but that has changed my perspective of life, because it gives you purpose then, even bigger purpose, to make more money, grow your businesses, grow your clientele, so that you can make memories and be philanthropic, give money to the people who need, and get into some bigger causes that our God has brought us here on this stage of life.
So Vinney, you just said die with zero and then make more money. So that kind of seems like counterintuitive, right? Like here, how do you die with zero and make more money, right? Like,
no,
how does that work?
What it means is, Collins has written in that book that, you know what, don't spend all your life working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs. But what you have so far, be contented and happy, but grow every day and make more money for the company, for employees. We're going to talk about culture, because our team members' livelihoods depends on us. Their kids' education, they're making bonuses and more earnings. So we have a responsibility. That's what we're going to talk about today. And the culture, the vision, the clarity that the CEO has, if we could transfer that into our team members. I never say employees. Why? And our investors, our partners, our people, it's a win situation. I say that 4 wins. Our investors, in my case, syndication world, raising money and all legally and all. Then the residents who live in our communities, could be commercial, could be apartments, could be hotels, all like that. The other third one is our team members, who are our face of Monil and your company. So their life, their families, their whole thing is dependent. They have to win also. Then comes after that our vendors and our partners. So our team member are third in the line. And then we have fourth, our vendors, our partners, and then we and myself and my family, our general partnership is at the bottom.
So that is a mindset almost. That's a structure you've created, but how did you come to that structure? That wasn't just something you read a book and you realized that was the right way to go. Like there's some process you went through that brought you to that structure.
The biggest thing is, Walter, that we need to be really purposeful in what the product is, what the gizmo, what's the service, and who are we serving? What's the avatar? We talk about avatar all the time. But the thing is, if we don't clarify in our mind who are the entrepreneurs, in my case, they are millions of dollars, they are making great money, and they could be in financial field or a medical field or IT field and all those different, right? And retired people who have made millions, they would love to invest to make passive incomes. So that's my avatar, right? Engineers, lots of engineers, lots of different things. But the key thing is that they are at the top. If I don't serve them, everybody down the pike will have no job. So that's where the investors come, number one, or students in my academies. I want to teach them my skills. So if they are on the top, then everything underneath will have job. So after the investors come our team members, because I'm not everywhere, not at all. When we had 158 team members, not that many. A lot of companies have 200, 500, 1,000. I just bought stocks this morning and 55,000 people in that company. But the thing is, we got to be really focused with our vision, our culture internally, so that we could really get everybody excited in our teams for purposeful communication and closing of the product or the service we provide.
That's fantastic. That is so powerful. Like you had 152 people, and that obviously is way past the point of being able to do all the work yourself. And so you started building this structure because you needed something beyond you showing up and talking to each person every single day. And I think that's a perfect way to explain why culture is so important. Culture is that thing, for anybody who's just listening, culture is that thing that lives beyond you. When people talk about getting out of the business, they're actually talking about building culture. The E-Myth talks about this idea of franchise model. What they're really talking about is a culture that everybody can remember and work off of, so that if something goes wrong, they know how to fix it and take care of your customers, ideally better than you would by yourself. So there's a couple of steps to creating culture, Vinney, and the notes you sent me this morning talk about mission, like your mission and your vision, like being really clear. What is the mission and vision of Monil, for example? If just tell us like a company that we know exists that you've been operating. What is the mission vision? How did you guys come up with that?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. This is a very good question, brother. I would say Monil, Monica and Neil together, that's the legacy we are building for the last 8-10 years. I had another company before, Ideal Investment Group. Now Monil Companies, conglomerate, has many companies underneath there in multifamily, in commercial, hospitality, in senior living, in education, in digital branding, in diversification, in cloud defense side of other things, and all other different businesses, right? The key thing is you got to look at where the avatar is in each of those businesses, and then you're able to design why people should invest with you, why people should follow you along, so that you are able to teach them or give them a service. In my case, there are only two avatars, and they are investors. There is $36 trillion, even a lot more now, in savings, in IRAs and retirement funds and all that. But lots and lots of entrepreneurs who have made a lot of money, how to diversify, how to put their money in the right place to grow their incomes passively and get tax benefits. That's at the forefront of my businesses. Secondly, of course, education is my business. Even though I don't make too much money, there are a lot of coaches and mentors, that's their whole income. In my case, I chose other way around. I like to be in the midst of things, I'm buying franchises, buying golf courses, buying marinas, you name it. French, and it's now Airbnb. We talked about it, starting a business in that one, buying some other startup companies and medtech companies in cybersecurity, in accounting, in AI. They just, the thing is, abundance mindset. Once you are out of the business, you look at the KPIs with your teams of professionals and vice presidents and presidents, then I need to let them do their job. Let them be accountable for it. And then when I meet and see the reports and everything, if I need to get involved, I get involved. But that's the beauty of it. You got to automate, you got to get focused, you got to clarify and delegate.
So it's fascinating because I think I caught it right at the beginning. It sounds like Monil really is a conglomerate for investments that you believe in, like conglomerate for investments that you like the partners, and it's who do the KPIs, like you mentioned at the end, like they follow strict business acumen, like they're following really good rules, and that's why you'll invest with them. I like that. You talked about recognizing, rewarding. One of the notes you sent me was it says recognizing, rewarding employees. I know you call them team members. So, what are some of the ways that you've recognized people within your company?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're talking about. Number one, our investors. We spend about $20,000 each year, 20 to 25,000, to really respect and give gratitude to our investors. When we send Harry and David boxes, like 5 tier boxes, 5 or 6 boxes, in a beautiful ribbon setting and all, not in a junk box, whatever, and spend about 79 to about $99 per investor, that we send out these every Thanksgiving, not Christmas, but around in November. Even Thanksgiving is, we want to give thanks to them for being in our, and we have 780 investors now. But then these are the active investors that we provide these gifts to, who have invested million, 2 million, 3 million, even 100,000 above. So everybody, we have minimum of 100 anyway. So that is one thing. Then the other thing, in our organizations, I used to give 2 bonuses a year. One midterm bonus, like in June, and one in November, end of November, before Christmas. Every team member got the bonus from us, from Monil. That was the culture, because I really believed if they're contributing, and then we did some awards banquets and did some, and every time I'll go to Texas, Georgia, or Florida, I'll take the whole team out and invite their families to really enjoy the dinner on me and the company, Monil, so that they could really feel who Vinney is. And lots of people who have traveled with me or shadowed me, they will vouch for it, how the whole climate, the culture that I built. As we were winding down, lots of people were crying. They said, Vinney, we want to work with you again. Whenever you have any kind of assets, we want to be there with you. So it's good to have that feeling, but it all stems from the clear vision and investment of time, money, and resources to keep our team members happy. So taking care of, number one, our clients, our investors, students, all that. Then number two, our team members. And then
Fantastic.
we also give, by the way, those gifts in November to our vendors too, to our partners, our loan brokers, our real estate brokers who have given us so many great leads, and our other partners in all the different businesses. So we send them gifts to them too.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I can see how a person would be like, I don't ever want this business to stop. I want to keep it growing because I'm getting lunch with the owner, and everybody involved in their family is important. One of the other notes you mentioned was the culture of your marketing strategies involving like showcasing values of the company, missions, positive work environment for your target audiences. Some of these things that you do to create your marketing structure so that people are talking about you. What are some of the things that you did early in the business that got people talking about Monil? That got people saying, hey, I got to introduce you to Vinney because what are some of those programs or things or ideas or stuff that your marketing really took off, like beyond things you had to do?
Thank you so much. In my life, I've been in business since 2007, let's say. So that's 16 16, 17 years. First 5 years, nobody knew Vinney Chopra, 5 or 6 years. My old company, when I started Monil in 2014, I only started it in 2014. That's 10 years back now. And that's when I took off. I didn't have a website even before. But then I started recording and putting a lot of educational materials out there. And I'll be teaching my investors, why they should never ask for money a dime, but just educated them, how the syndication works, how the cash cap rates and cash on cash and value add through pictures and PowerPoint presentations I shared, and did lots of presentations live in front of groups in restaurants and hotels all over. Vinny has done all gamut of things, but then it started growing. People who were happy, they were telling their relatives, their brothers, their sisters, their uncles, their aunts, and people will just call me and say, Vinny, I've got $500,000 check ready for you. I said, hold on, we need to know first each other. You cannot just give me money like that. They said, no, you are so authentic, you're reachable, and you're so honest. I don't know how people feel that. But the thing is, that's what got it going. And now we have raised like over 221 million. And we are raising now 75 million in a 506C fund, strategic income fund that we have talked about. And I can talk about it because I teach also. It's a accredited investors fund only, and we can talk about it.
So I was actually on the strategic fund call that you did a few weeks ago,
Yes.
and it was really cool, like really valuable, really cool to see. Like you gave a lot of secrets of what's happening in the market. So now it's okay. Now I understand what's happening in the market. Now I understand why the strategic fund makes sense. I think you nailed it when you said you're putting out a lot of content that was shareable. You put out this content that was super valuable, was shareable. One of the things I've heard you talk about in the past, you just shared it with us, but I want to let everybody know, Vinny will record his trainings in front of people live, but then he'll send them out to his investors. So his investors can actually pass that along to other people. So as long as, like, in his trainings, never start with, here's my investment, here's why you should invest with me. It always starts with, here's what's going on in the market. Here's some of the stats. Here's, again, like the fundamentals about the industry. And here's why we think this is the best investment, why I'm moving in this direction. So regardless, sharing his videos are actually sharing information. So that creates this kind of contagious, hey, pass this along mentality. So we're running out of time, but your business isn't a small business. Like, this isn't like somebody
it's a
who,
boutique. It's a boutique. Yeah.
It's not boutique. They're not like making shirts or selling like customized cars. This is a big business. People give you checks of $500,000, $5 million. You've got $5 million investors, right? So
yes,
what is it that you're doing now to stay contagious? Like with those higher level family offices and $5 million, $10 million investors, like what are you doing now to make sure that your business is still contagious? Like, so they're still saying, hey man, you got to know about this guy, Vinny.
Thank you so much, Walter. I know, I've been on this journey with the family offices. I got disenchanted, to be truthful. I think a few years back, I tried to approach and looked at their red tapes. I gave a lot of presentations, but I know you and I have been talking how to go to the smaller family offices, and there are lots of them, 10 million, 15 million, up to 50 million, where they can invest with us and have less red tape. That's number one. Secondly, I find if people are able to really see the track record and feel and touch and see the philosophy of Monil and myself at the top, our daughter along with us and our other team members, the key thing will be that they can feel secure, that we'll do everything in our power to protect their money. That's big thing. First, protection of money, tax benefits, and then, of course, when will they get the money back and what kind of returns they'll get? Those are the 3-4 things every investor has on their mind. And that's the real key. Family offices is amazing because so much wealth will be changing hands. And lots of people who have made good amount of money, net worth of 10 million plus, they are counted as family offices. I just saw another report. Even if you have 3 million, 4 million, it's good to have a family office set up. And it's pretty cheap. It's not that hard to do it. The key thing is then diversification comes in. And that's what it's all about. So family office then can invest in not just Vinney Chopra or Goalter, they could invest in lots of different diversified assets to protect their money and grow their money.
So there, you just nailed it. You're basically teaching family offices things about them that they don't even know. I think Doreena's been reaching out to some of our super high net worth individuals, 10 million, 20 million, and
Yeah.
she's using this word family office with them. And they're like, I don't even know what that is. So it's, you're actually now teaching and training and letting
Yes.
people know like how to structure a family office if
Yep.
their net worth is in that 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 million mark. I think
Yes.
that is what's going to separate you in the marketplace as you're going forward. And it just,
Thank
I'm glad to be a part of it. Me and Dorina are super excited to be having these conversations with some of our high net worth friends and ourselves and building our own little family office. So
you.
it's really interesting what the future holds. Read an article recently. It's $71 trillion that's going to be inherited over the next 20 years.
71 trillion with a T.
Trillion with a T. That's
And
going from baby boomers to Gen X to millennials to
yes.
Y. And that's 71 trillion that'll be moved. Most of it's going to the Gen X and the
Yep.
millennials. And you've been talking about this for a long time. You call it the silver tsunami. This is a 20-year phenomenon that's going to keep going until I think 2031. 2031. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this
seven
is
more years. But what you're really saying is so right, Walter. Millennials and Generation X, Y, Z, they want minimum work. They really like portability. They like to live a lifestyle, of comfort and everything and richness, but they want to be really more automated and more, they just want the money to grow. The family office with them would be really focusing on how can you diversify, protect your capital, and make money grow. Those three things.
I can relate to family offices very well.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's exactly what I want my money doing too. I want it diversified. I want it coming in, and I want it safe. I want money safe. I want money growing. What a cool call today. What piece of advice would you give to somebody right now who's in their business and maybe they're having some retention issues either with clients or with their employees? Of all the things that we talked about, what is the most important one that they get nailed down? The simplest step that they can start working on?
I'm so glad you're saying that. One thing I've been really good CEO of lots of companies is I fire the poison. I cut the poison as quickly as possible in the organizations that I've led, because one negative can bring so much poison within your organization. You got to motivate, and you can motivate if your leadership is right. If you are totally focused, you're showing them how to do it, and make sure that you keep them accountable, all your team members. That's the biggest thing. A lot of time, friendship comes on the way. That is not good. In our organizations, we need to treat it as we are really obligated to give them the right salaries or commissions and bonuses and everything so that they are motivated. If some people are not motivated, it's good time for the CEO to take them on the sideline and say, hey, what's going on in your life and things, why you are not motivated. If this is not the position you need, then leave or you grow or do some training so that you could do your job better. So I think introspectively, we should be looking at everybody in our organizations. Are they contributing or not?
Wow. That I love how that actually, in my mind, also solves the customer problems. If you solve the client, the staff problem, the team problem, you solve the customer problem because the right team will go out and get your customers. This has been probably one of our best. I know we're not going to be doing this possibly for over the next 3 weeks because you're going to be traveling. So for each of you who's listening, go back and listen to this episode again. There's a lot of information here for you to increase your income, increase your net worth, and get access to really cool deals. Go to alchemistnation.com, and I want you to go to Crush 2024. There's a lot of free training on both websites. Get access to the training. February's just begun. We're still at the beginning of the year. You've got to go out there and crush it. Cheers to your success. We do this every Thursday, except for these next couple of weeks, every Thursday, 9 a.m. PST and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. We'll see you on the next one.
God bless.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Walter Amarello. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.